Hello investors and traders, today we'll speak about the stock market S&P 500. Of course, one new investment idea. It's ETF on now regional banking, US banking ETF. So today I'll speak about this. So let's start as usual with S&P 500. So here is in my mind we're trading in decreasing leading diagonal. It's the first wave, the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. So I'm expecting another move down, of course, towards the end of this year. It can be this the finishing of this impulse. It can be the fifth wave. And here, by the way, it's a crucial resistance levels. It's 38.00. So if 1 week we close lower than this major support level, of course we will see very fast and very fast declining. It may start accelerating, but until now, until this time, I'm not sure that we will trade it much lower. So anyway, I'm expecting to see the stock market, the S&P 500 lower, and here a major level at which we should pay our attention. It's 38.00. So let's move to the Nasdaq, the IT company sectors. Here or also we have a few support level. It's 11,000 and 10,000. We know that more than 12% the IT companies index is its performance since the beginning of the year, but it's of course after the decreasement in last year the performance was minus 30%. So it's looked like just a bounce in this year, but I'm not expecting something special for the stocks for IT companies at all in this year. Let's move to the B2C. It's one of my main bets for this year. I have a portion. I had a few bitcoins in my portfolio, so its performance since the beginning of the year about 62%. My target is 30 towns. Very nice income, very good investment, and I see a performance and potential to increasement, maybe about 10%. Then maybe I will close this position. But anyway, very cool and very nice performance for B2C in this year. And another, the second asset I have in my portfolio is the TLT, the US Treasury bond. Its dividend yield more than 2%, and of course its performance also is about 5% since the beginning of the year. It's one of the safest asset in the whole market, and here of course I will continue to hold it. We know that we see that it's decreased more than 40% last year's this asset, but anyway, when we may see a pause, or the Fed Fund will tell that we may start our decreasing in our interest rates. Of course, we will see a rocket here. It may start growing and increasing very fast. Let's have a look on my model portfolio. So here, today is the 18th of March. So my performance 21%. I have, of course, I have. It was, by the way, it was 12% week ago. Now it's 21 in a few months. I guess it's very nice. I have TLT, B2C, Bitcoin, Amazon, and Disney. So all of my picks show different dynamic, and the average performance is more than 20%. By the way, the S&P 500, its performance since in this year only 2%. So I'm lucky to outperform the S&P and the Nasdaq. By the way, if it's 12-13%, I also I am outperforming the Nasdaq and the S&P, both of them. So it's very nice. So it's telling that all my stock picking, my asset analysis is now it's right. Of course, the B2C performance very close to it. It's very close to my target. So maybe in a few weeks I will close this position. But anyway, I'm expecting very strong and very good performance in the TLT, the US Treasury bond ETF. And now let's talk about my new investment idea, my new pick, something I'm considering right now. It's a ticker CRE, so it's the ETF on US regional banking. So this ETF, its average market cap about 10 billion bucks. Its P ratio is about 11 and distribution yield also dividend yield more than 3%. Its number of holding 145 and of course it's so generally speaking, it's ETF on the regional US banking. Here we see the top picks. It's East West Bankrupt, Webster Financial Corporation, PNC Financial Services, and of course the biggest US regional banks are we can represented here is in ETF. We know, of course, from the news, from everywhere, they know that the financial crisis, the crisis of banking in US, the banking crash, the Silicon Valley, and another few banks already crashed. If I'm mistaken, in Chapter 11, so it's bankruptcy. But here it can be in my mind trading opportunity. A few months ago it was above 60, now at 43. Its performance since the beginning of the year is down more than 20%. Here in my mind it was look, it could be the wave A, then B and C, and here by the way it's here a flat correction. This last year it was ABC move. And another interesting point, that if I will use the Fibonacci levels, look, so these waves, this wave C already between 100 and 160%. So wave C is in the range when it can be, if you're considering that wave C is about more than 100% correctional than wave A. So the Fibonacci levels telling us that C may be finishing or very close to it finishing here. The daily RSI momentum is less than 20, so it's very low. And by the way, the weekly RSI is also 25, so this asset already oversold. Last time, by the way, it was the financial no, it was the crisis of the coronavirus a few years ago. We saw RSI in a weekly time frame 20, about 20. Now it's 25. So we see a pattern here. It can be ABC move. And of course, you don't know which bank can crash next time. That's why I prefer to buy ETF. There are more than 100 stocks, 100 banks in this ETF, in this asset. So for me it's it can be very interesting. But I would like to remind that it's very risky. Don't put all your deposit or money, cash in your in this trade. That's why I'm just risk. I prefer to risk from my income. I told you previously that I earned a lot in this year from the B2C, from Bitcoin. It's up more than 60%. Yeah, more than 60%. So the ticker CRE ETF on regional banking ETF, I'm considering it very interesting investment opportunity right now. But of course it can be down another 10-20%, so be very dangerous. And another interesting point I would like to show you, of course, we see right now inverted yield curve in the US Treasury bond. It means that the 2-year is 3.8 and the 10-year is 3.4, so it's still inverted yield curve in the US Treasury bond. So let's have a look here on the correlation between the S&P 500 index, it's the yellow line, and the difference in yields. The white one is different between 2 years and 10 years. So we saw what we can see that last times when the yield curve it just started to raise, at the same time we see a crash in the index. So actually it was here the first one, and the second time it's the financial crisis 2008, the bubble, dot-com bubble, and here it maybe it will be the another time here. We seeing that it decreased, and now maybe it was by the way first time in the history that the difference was so low. It was 1 week ago it was minus 100 points, now it's minus 50 basic points. And then it's time the difference in yields begins to decrease. We see in the charts in the graph, and at the same time the index, the S&P 500, just starting to crash. Maybe it can be the next this time it will be the same situation. That's why also I'm considering not to heavily buying stocks now, not to buy S&P and Nasdaq companies, because I'm afraid of this chart. If the situation will repeat itself, so we may see another decreasement in the main US index. At least it can be 10-15%. So then it can be the best time and the best peaks. So don't forget this chart. I think it's very important. It's very actual for now. So it's very important to pay attention to the difference in the US Treasury bonds. And of course, at the next week we have the Fed meeting. Actually they should to choose if they increase the interest rates, so they combating the inflation. Maybe the inflation, now the inflation 6%, the CPI in US, maybe it can start to decrease. But if they continue for example to increase the interest rates, so it's another problem for the banks. We saw that a few banks already crashed, so it can lead to another crisis and another problems in the banking sector. So of course we will see. So the Fed should choose or very high inflation. There is a potential for the inflation to grow maybe 15%, maybe 10-20%, if they will say that we may take a pause, or maybe we should decrease our Fed fund rate maybe 1%, maybe to 2%. So if I'm not mistaken, between the 22 of March, it's the next week. So it's very interesting, very important for the stock market, for the bond market, for all the financial assets, the Fed decision on the next week. So generally speaking, it's my view on the indexes, on the stock market. A new investment idea, it's CRE. It's the ETF on regional banks in US. And of course I continue to hold B2C, TLT, and few stocks. But now it looks very dangerous. I told you in the chart why. After that we saw in the past when the inverted yield curve becoming to flat, then after a few quarters the stock market crash is coming. So be very dangerous, be very careful. Maybe the best times and the best levels to buy stock, it can be maybe in a few quarters from today. So if you like this video, of course press the like button, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and see you on the next time. Bye.